Okay, so here we are, the first adventure of For Faerie, Queen and Country, because nobody demanded it but me. So yeah, this adventure is going to be taking place sometime after the World War I, between the years of 1922, 1923, probably right in there in the ballpark. We got our boy Stanley here, who I couldn't find my Alex Walter character token, so I made one last minute because I didn't want to get that to get in my way. He's rural farmhand, kind of like a landscaper that works next to he works for his rich, crazy neighbors, and it's Christmas time, and he needs to go get a tree for himself, and he wants to get a really nice. He wants to go out there and he wants to cut one down. Now, I have no idea if this was an actual thing back in the 1920s in England. This might just be an American traditional thing, so I'm sorry if this is a little, if I'm not getting the history right, but we'll just say he's going to chop down a tree, okay? And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use, of course, Mythic, the one-sheet Mythic here. And I got all these words. These words can be a little tough to make stuff up out of, but you know, I got my probability chart for the GM, and if I roll doubles, then something odd's going to happen. Either an altered scene or an expected. We'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the flow here. I'm not gonna put a number up in these corners. I just kind of want to go with it. It's going to be a pretty simple adventure, hence the simple setup. And I'm going to see what happens here. Like the characters I have are carried over from the first one a little bit, because I wanted to be a continuation of that. First of all, I apologize for this paper. I dropped some water on it here. And don't even ask me about there's some kind of well, there's a yellow stain. It's just from a marker. All right, so you know, that's what it's from. Okay, so anyway, that's unfortunately when you don't role play enough, things like this happen. And even when you do role play, leave stuff out, put water on here. I got to get a desk clip to put the cup in, but I digress. I have triggers, all right, in the scene, so I was just kind of filling those out. So things can happen by the second scene, and it can escalate. And this is from one of the Mythic magazines. It kind of tells you how to do that. And if this happens or if this doesn't happen, trigger this scenario to kind of move things along. And so yeah, because it can get hard to interpret things from those words. So I have a fairy goblin that he's going to encounter and have to deal with. Again, this is not a combat-oriented game, although you can do combat in it. It's very deadly. It's a lot like Vase in that way. I'm going to have someone else encounters, possibly the farmhand, the mute. He encountered a mute farmhand from his first adventure that helped him out. He was looking for his spade, and the mute farmhand helped him. Maybe I should say spoken disabled, whatever. So yeah, so 3. I want to have, let's see, upperclassman. I'm not someone who's above his pay grade there, or class woman. Alright, so I got 3 characters I can work with. I can roll on a D4 here to figure out. Unless so when I start getting more characters, you know, I can do a D6, you know, a D6 plus 1 or a D6 minus 1, however I want to do it. So yeah, let me figure out the triggers and I'll come back to you here, because that might take a little bit of time. And I'll write a thread. The main thread down here is find and cut down a tree for Christmas. Now mind you, he's all by himself. Doesn't really have anyone to help him. So I guess it's part of his personality. He's just kind of a loner by nature. And he's a veteran of World War I. So he's probably got a little bit of PTSD. But yeah, that's the main thread. Now, along the adventure, there might be new threads that open up. And those could be minor threads, or a thread that's unresolved could be a setup for the next adventure, which is cool. I like that. So let me figure out the trigger. So let's see. Second scene. Let's see here. I only have 2 triggers, so let's see. Maybe I can figure them out on the spot here. Maybe he encounters, maybe he's driving along and he encounters something struggling or in need of help. Okay. And hopefully that'll prompt him to get out of his car and to see what's going on, since he's out and about anyway, searching, you know, through the open land, the forest, I guess. And so there we go. And so let's see, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th scene. Because I'm only going to do 8 scenes. There's only 8 boxes. And I want to have some kind of lead up or a climax before the final scene, which will be kind of more of a conclusion, I guess, than anything. Or could be. Or if I really can't figure anything out. But it's pretty simple. Does he get the tree or not at the end of this? So I kind of have a closed off ending instead of having it be too open. 7th scene, let's say a final conflict with a faerie, goblin, or upperclassman. I know there's another name for that. I don't know, it's called gentry. I don't know. I could be wrong there. I gotta go. See, that's the thing, is there's so much history involved with this campaign. But darn it, I'm jumping in there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write down I can write down the adventure hook right here, but it's pretty simple. So find a Christmas tree. All right, so let's get going. Let's just get into it here, and let's do this first scene. And So that this first one, I got some props to my left here. So the scene, I can either set it up. I'm gonna set it up. He's in his car. All right, it's a snowy day, light snow, and he's looking outside of his car for the windshield for, you know, for some decent trees. So let's see what happens in this first scene. Using just the words here. So this first roll is going to be for scenery. So 82. So that is 80. I'm going to do subject rotten. Okay, that's good. 76. NPC. Ooh. So I can roll on the character table. Let me see. He smells something rotten in the air, a rotten smell, as he's driving by. I smell something kind of rotten here. NPC 1. It's fairy goblin already. So, okay. So he sees something on the side of the road. It could be some kind of little man. And, well, he's going to keep on driving. I mean, it's just, he smells something. He doesn't want to, let's see. So he takes a look, so he can get a good look at this person, who he assumes is probably a little person out there walking by himself. So we'll get a little bit more description, more of a descriptor. 84. Maybe it's doing something interesting or weird. 84. Rough. That's the descriptor. Rough. This little fellow looks rough. Clothes unkempt. 41. Environment. Rough environment. So maybe there's a bunch of trees all scattered on the ground. Dead trees. And the guy's just kind of going through it. And so he leaves them alone. He keeps moving on. And does Stanley spot some good trees as he veers left, maybe to put some distance between this vagabond-like person and this smelliness of rotten eggs. So let's see. I'm going to go on the mythic chart here, just a percentile, and I'd say it's probably likely since he's in the area. So between 14 and 65 is a yes. If I roll doubles, something odd happens. Oh, that's 75. So I think that's a no. Yeah, so likely so no. So no, so he keeps going and keeps driving for another couple miles. And let's see if anything else. Does he... Well, let's see. Let's do another descriptor before we move on to the next scene. 87. You're going to have to feel it out a little bit here sometimes. 87. Rustic. That's good. It's perfect. So this would be a good descriptor time. 74. Put a negative rustic. So something in the environment. Maybe there's a beautiful, the sun's kind of poking through the clouds a little bit, and you can see some of the beautiful valley and some of the, the snow on the trees looks really nice and beautiful. But there's a recent snowstorm, and it's knocked a lot of trees over. So one tree might have gotten in the way. That's a good one to ask. Is there a tree in the way of the road? I'd say that's very likely then. Okay. So let's see. $72. Yeah. So there's a tree in the middle of the road. Is it passable? Let's see. Say it's unlikely. So unlikely. Let's see. Very unlikely. I'll say unlikely. So I got to get between here and here to say if it's passable or not. If I roll in here, it's not. This range, exceptional, no. There's something more going on. Okay, so let's see here. Ooh. Oh, very 7. There's a tree in the way. But yes, an exceptional yes. It's just, so there's like a bonus to it. So not only can I move around it, but the rest of the road is incredibly clear and beautiful. But again, it just tells Stanley that, okay, the storm was pretty rough. It was windy. He recalled a windiness in his very meager, modest home the other night as he was reading up on fairy lore. And so yeah, that'll be the end of that scene, and we'll move on to the next scene, which will be a trigger if nothing happens. So let me jot this down. Let's see here. Now normally here I put like 5 because it would be that's the chaos factor, but I'm just kind of winging it. I don't want to be a slave to that right now because there's a lot going on with this campaign. So let's see. I want to move things along fairly quickly. So that's a good little setup. It sets up his location and the environment a little bit and sets the scene. So we'll move on to scene 2. Okay. So let's roll. And let's see what happens next. As he continue, I'm going to ask again, does he find any good trees in the distance? I'm going to say 50-50 since I say it's improving. Well, I think I already did likely. Let's do very likely. So I got to get between a 16 and 75. Ooh, doubles. All right, 55. So yes, that falls right in there. All right. And so something interesting happens. And that probably will activate that trigger, actually. But I'll add it, and it'll be something else too. So he pulls over. He sees something or someone struggling with something at the side of the road. Okay. So let's see. I have somewhere. Where is it now? I have a cool unknown marker here. Let me just see if I can get it. Or token. Let's see. I check this. I think it might be in this one. Or not. Maybe I don't have one. Bummer. I should have had one already. This will have to do. This will have to do for now. So I'll put some trees over here. Give you a little bit of a visual, so it's just not me talking, writing stuff down. Alright. So he's probably more than 30 feet away at this point. Those are some bunny tracks. Okay, so gets out, it rolled doubles. What happens next? He comes out, what does he see? $41. 41 is helpful. Okay. $76. Helpful NPC. So for our, so it could be something positive. Let me see what the doubles are again. So again, when you roll a double, if you ask the GM and roll a double digit, then you generate a random event. So let's do something random along with that helpful NPC. 76. Let's see if I can go. My powerful. $43. Expectations. So it meets the expectations. So something powerful, a random event. I get out and it's like, hey, friend. And this could be, this could be the farmhand. So let me ask first, is this the farmhand? I'd say it's very likely. 77. Could be another random event right there. No, it's not. But there's some kind of powerful gust or wind that comes through. Let's see what else. 55. Now, I just do the doubles if I ask the GM a question, I get a double, then that's the only time I do that. 100. A lot happening right here. 55. Mechanical is the description. And 100. Uncertain action. So something mechanical. Maybe, yeah. It's not the. It's a new NPC, but it's not the farmhand. It's somebody else. So I'll use this anyway for that person. And his car is over there, and uncertain if he's broken down by the side of the road, or if he's just stopped to get a Christmas tree as well. So Stanley says, "Oi, oi there, mate." Doing my Cockney accent again. If there's any UK people out there watching, really forgive my British accent here. Oi, oh, Merry Christmas. You need a hand with anything? He goes, oh. And let's see what he says here. So I'm going to put some kind of dialogue, or I can make something up. Let's see. Is the guy looking for a Christmas tree himself? I asked the GM. I'd say it's very likely. Very likely. Okay, so I got to get a 16 to 75 for that. $34. Yes, he is. Oh, yes, I am. I need to get a Christmas tree for my family this year. And, well, maybe we can find one together. Well, maybe. And so with that, since he was a helpful NPC, they go together to look for a tree. And Stanley says, "Oi, it's a heck of a storm that came through the other night. That was a strong gust here." "Oh, sure it was." And let's see if he says anything about it before we move on to the next scene. $93. Strange. Ooh, okay, I like that. That's good. 97. Strange. Strange surprise. All right. It was it was so calm. It was so calm the night before. It was this is this man. Stanley introduces himself, and he says his name back, and I'll have to come up with a name. But anyway, it's a lot of strange weather these days. Very strange, and it seems to be acting up, changing suddenly. One minute sunny, the next cold, and but 'tis Christmas time, and we must find a tree. And so they go off and search for the tree. We'll just say he's kind of an older fellow, so maybe he's struggling. He was struggling in the snow walking. Maybe he fell down, and that was part of his struggle. So, I can help you through here. There's a lot of snow. And so they make their way through. So that'll be the end of that scene. So we'll move on. I'll write that down. And I'll spare you the writing down, but I'll jot it down, and we'll move on to the next couple scenes here.